5 tips to enhance your critical thinking skills. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the abundance of information out there, especially in the realm of health and well-being? At times, you may even feel tempted to conform to popular belief or the current health trend without being sure if it's really relevant or important to your family's unique needs. I'm Dr. Jinmee, a holistic naturopathic doctor, and in today's video, I'm sharing 5 tips to enhance your critical thinking skills, to empower you to make informed decisions that truly support your family's unique health needs. Now, critical thinking is important not only to navigate the abundance and complexities of information out there, but to make decisions that align not only with your values, but with universal principles that support overall health and well-being. Improving our critical thinking skills at the level of the mind enhances our cognitive abilities and intellectual development, which I consider to be part of our mental health, and in turn can help us make better decisions for our physical and emotional health as well. Now, the first tip to enhance your critical thinking skills is to, number 1, question assumptions. Now, these are your own assumptions and those of others as well. Assumptions are these deeply held beliefs or ideas we have that we don't really give much thought to. Sometimes subconscious thoughts or limiting beliefs can also create these automatic patterns that kind of run on autopilot and we don't even realize that it's happening. Questioning assumptions also involves being mindfully aware of our biases. Now, biases are these mental shortcuts or filters that shape the way that we interpret information. Cognitive biases such as confirmation bias or availability bias skew our perceptions. It can lead to faulty reasoning as we tend to seek information that already supports our pre-existing beliefs. Now, thanks to neuroplasticity, being aware of our biases can help create new neural pathways and rewire our brain to correct or rewire any faulty thought patterning. In the realm of health, questioning assumptions might mean examining accepted health norms or questioning widely accepted treatments for a certain condition. An action step here is to ask why, or is this true, anytime you're faced with your own beliefs or the beliefs of others. Also try to notice when you're leaning toward a specific conclusion simply because it feels comfortable or familiar, and commit to spending equal time looking at the opposing view. Tip number 2 is practice healthy skepticism. This involves questioning claims or information without automatically dismissing or accepting them, even when they come from seemingly credible or reputable sources. Sometimes widely accepted information from trusted institutions can be flawed, biased, or even manipulated. Critical thinkers need to dig deeper and not always assume that reputable always equals truthful. In health research, for example, you always want to scrutinize the methodology and examine if there's any financial ties, as biases can affect even peer-reviewed research. So an action step here is when evaluating sources, go beyond surface credibility. Ask who benefits from this information and what potential biases or conflicts of interest may exist here. Avoid assuming that a source is reliable simply because of its status. Critical thinking requires you to continuously ask how conclusions were reached, not just who is saying them. Tip number 3 is diversify your information sources. Now, we all tend to go to a certain set of maybe narrow sources that can promote confirmation bias as we give unequal weight to studies that support our current pre-existing beliefs. We want to seek to broaden our perspectives and seek more information sources to lead to more information diversity and cognitive flexibility. Those who expose themselves to varied information sources tend to have better critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Now, one action step here could be to challenge yourself to read or listen to something each week, or however often you choose, that challenges your current perspectives and ways of thinking. Now, of course, in the beginning, this will be and feel challenging, right? Because we are used to going to our go-to sources because they feel familiar and comfortable. But to truly engage in critical thinking and to make sure we're getting the best of all the information to make those informed choices and decisions, we need to be able to diversify our information sources and challenge ourselves to get a little bit uncomfortable to develop better skills in our reasoning and decision-making. Tip number 4 is to embrace intellectual humility. Now, this means opening up to the possibility that you may not have all the information and that you could be wrong. This does not mean constantly second-guessing yourself, but rather opening yourself up to new possibilities and considerations and re-examining your beliefs as new evidence or information arises. Fostering curiosity really supports this, as when we're curious, we're open to asking deeper questions and looking beyond the surface to find deeper answers. This keeps you open to new ideas and prevents stagnation in your thought processes. Something to note is that intellectual humility also involves not only being aware that you could be wrong, but also being aware of the subtle rewards you might be receiving for holding certain views or perspectives. For example, holding a certain view or perspective might gain you some popularity, credibility, or a sense of significance depending on your audience. True intellectual humility pushes us to prioritize truth over popularity, even when it means sacrificing the comfort of some of these rewards. An action step to practice intellectual humility is to practice saying, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn, and being okay with not having all the answers and seeking to learn a little bit more. You can also engage in more of a childlike exploration, which is adopting a beginner's mindset and seeking to understand why to ignite your curiosity and lead you to ask more thoughtful questions. Tip number 5 is develop metacognition, which is thinking about your thinking. So it's not just about what you think, but about your thinking processes. This encourages a higher level of self-reflection and cognitive awareness, which are crucial for critical thinking. Individuals who engage in metacognitive processes are better at identifying flaws in their own reasoning and have better problem-solving skills. It goes a little deeper than simply questioning assumptions or examining your thoughts, and it causes you to ask, how did I come to this conclusion, and what are the mental processes behind how I arrived at this conclusion? So an action step here could be asking yourself those questions when faced with your beliefs or certain thought processes or conclusions that you've formed. Additionally, engaging in reflective writing or journaling can allow for deeper understanding and greater reflection. So to recap, the 5 tips to enhance your critical thinking skills is number 1, question assumptions. 2, practice healthy skepticism. 3, diversify your information sources. 4, embrace intellectual humility. And 5, develop metacognition. Some signs that you're thinking critically and arriving at sound conclusions is that you've considered multiple perspectives. You can clearly explain your reasoning and articulate why you believe something based on science and logic and not just relying on gut feelings alone. Your conclusions align with well-supported facts, such as scientific evidence or time-tested truths, instead of just opinion or hearsay. And you feel a balanced sense of confidence, and you can make decisions with clarity and confidence without the need for second-guessing or external validation. Choose one tip to implement today or this week and let me know your experiences in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more holistic health content in mind, body, heart, and spirit.